G'day and welcome back. Now, I wasn't originally going to do this video today for the simple fact is I've got minimal experience doing what I'm about to do. Next to no experience apart from a bit of bush mechanics back when I was a bit younger, welding up a couple of old cast iron manifolds just to get us by. So I thought, well, I'm going to do it anyway, so I thought you might as well all follow along and see how it all unfolds. Wish me luck. Alright, so this is what I'm trying to achieve. Now this is worn away from the catcher rubbing on it, which is pretty common on them. That one's not so bad, but this, on the other hand, is worn away a lot. So it's like a good 4 mil there, down to a millimetre there. So we want to build this up a good 3 millimeters. I want to weld along here and build it all up, and then I want to grind it all back down and shape it so it looks like it was meant to be. The other side here, same deal. I'm a bit worried about welding next to this part, but I've got a plan, so we'll see how we go. Here's one that I've already done. Wasn't quite as bad as that one, but it was still fairly bad, and I've welded up this piece here. You can see now obviously the number one problem with welding this up is the fact that it is cast iron. Now I'm pretty confident that I can do this without damaging it. I'm a little bit nervous. And you know, some people will say that you can't do it and you shouldn't do it, whatnot, but hey, I like living on the edge a little bit, I guess. But if you are planning to do this at home, do it at your own risk. So from my understanding, what's recommended is that we heat this up nice and evenly, the whole thing. I don't know any specific temperatures. I'm just gonna heat it up in the wood oven, as I did with that one. And we'll weld this slowly, trying not to get one spot, you know, try to keep the heat fairly even. We might even weld a bit, put it back in the oven, weld a little bit more. We'll see how we go. From there, you want it to cool down fairly evenly as well. Now, I didn't do that with this one, and I'm not sure I will here either. They recommend you sort of bury it in some sand a few hours or overnight or something and let it cool down at its own rate. I mean, bearing in mind that I'm not actually welding something together. We're just building it up a little bit. We're not, I don't know if that's as bad or not, but my theory is that it's not as important. But let's see how we go. All right, let's go chuck it in the oven. The lawn's looking a bit, how you doing this time of year? Last time I checked, that was at 280 degrees, so I'll use some gloves here. I think that might be hot. I might be doing another cast iron repair if that gets any hotter. Now just bake that at 150 to 300 degrees for an hour or two until it's crispy and brown. It's been in there for quite a while now. Probably a good hour or so, I guess. Whoa. Yo! That is hot.
Yeah. What?
No, not quite.
What?
That?
Oh. Did you yell at me?
No. Oh. I yelled because it was hot.
Oh.
Alright, I want to put some bolts in here just quickly so I can stand it up when I'm welding it. Alright, tell you what I didn't do, and that is clean it up before I heated it up. So, I guess I have to do it now. So my biggest worry about welding this up is this thin edge. So what I intend to do is weld straight down the center here. Probably go a little bit further than I have to, probably around here somewhere. And from there I will weld to that weld all the way along, and then hopefully I won't direct too much heat into this thin little piece, because I don't want to blow that out, as it'll be very hard to shape inside there again. So I want to keep that shape without blowing this out, so I don't have to clean it up. And I have to clean up this face, and the back face. Wish me luck. Something that I wanted to add, this is gonna look extremely ugly once it's all welded up. Wire brush has seen better days. Alright, now if that isn't the ugliest crap you've ever seen, but it doesn't matter, because we're going to shape it all up and it should look Mickey Mouse in theory. We'll see how we go. I might just chuck it back in the oven for another half hour or so, just to let it even out the heat again, and then I'll bring it out and might weld up that front face, because I'd say that's pretty cool down there now, being on the cold bench, and let it cool down and start shaping it. See where the glove started melting. Jeez, that's hot. Not really looking forward to getting that out of there. I'm not entirely sure these ovens are meant to get that hot. Oh man, that looks hot. Really looking forward to this, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. Alright, I'm just going to weld up a couple more on the back here that I wasn't real happy with. And then zap the front of it. Then I might just chuck it back in the oven real quick. It's warm here. From there I'll just pull it out and let it cool down. I'm not going to worry about putting any sand or anything. I did it with the last one and I didn't have any dramas, so I'm pretty confident that it'll be fine. It shouldn't crack or anything. Fingers crossed. That looks ugly as hell. Look how much I built it up. Jesus. Oh well. That's what the grinder's for, I guess. I wonder if I should get a little bit more on that back side. Probably better now than later. Might quickly do that and then chuck it back in the oven and let it warm up and pull it out, and hopefully it'll cool down nice and even. What do you reckon?
Cool.
Now it's time to start cleaning this mess up. I welded a little bit further along here. It was worn on this side, so thought it'd come this bloody far. Might as well keep going. Now as I'm grinding it down, I'm going to, rather than, probably to get the most off won't matter, rather than grinding it like this, I'm gonna hold it flat. And that's how I'm gonna keep a nice straight edge on it, if you know what I mean. So rather than grinding it like this and rounding the edge, I'm going to use this part of the disc. And I'm going to hold it flat and I'm going to drag along there. You feel it cut really nicely when you get it right. It takes a bit of practice, but I find it works really, really well. Still pretty ugly, but I think it should come up just nicely. I find it a lot easier if you keep everything either horizontal or vertical, you know, when you're cutting down or grinding. Just for me anyway, it makes it a lot easier to keep it nice and true and neat. That one definitely didn't weld as good as the last one, although it felt like it was welding really nice, but it obviously wasn't clean because, but other than that, it looks good. All right, might work on this radius here. Just a bit of guesswork, I guess. Just knock it down a bit and see how we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. Looks nice and parallel along there now. Probably could have been a bit higher there, but not the end of the world. It's a hell of a lot better than what it was. So from here I'm just going to go and clean up all these edges and make them all look nice and neat. Alright, I've been inside for tea and I'm back out here now. Now I got all the grinding and shaping done before the sun went down, and overall I'm fairly happy with it. See, it sort of almost went back to nothing here. You can still sort of see the line there. So we've filled all that up. I reckon it looks alright. Sort of gives you a bit of an idea of how ground down it was there. It's fairly worn as well. I might fix that up yet, see how I go. I'll do that off camera. Might not even worry about it yet, probably just getting carried away. This one you probably don't need to worry about as much, as by the time the cover goes on you don't really see it. But it's done now and it looks good. This one actually come out a lot better than the other one. But it didn't need as much work either, so. While I was actually welding it, it welded up really, really well. And it did get me thinking, like, is it cast iron or is it cast steel? I done the old grinding test, and the way the sparks come off the grinder led me to believe it was cast iron, and just the poor nature of everything. I'm pretty sure it's cast iron, but let me know what you all think. Just a quick example of the little spark test I did. If you imagine that's your cutting disc on an angle grinder, when you cut steel or grind steel, the sparks sort of appear right at the blade and work out. Whereas when you cut or grind cast iron, the sparks don't really appear until out here. They're a different colour spark too, but like I said, I'm no professional. That's just how I come up with the theory, and interested to hear what you all think. Well, that's my attempt at welding up the cast side plates. From here, I'll get them in the blast cabinet, clean them all up, get some undercoat on them, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I should have done it or shouldn't have done it. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on the matter, I guess. I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I don't think it's weakened it, and I'm confident that it'll be fine. But in saying that, yeah, make up your own mind if it's something you want to do at home or not. Don't say I said you could, because like I said, I didn't mind taking the risk, and I can live with that if it goes bad. So yeah, do it at your own accord. I'm no professional in this. This is just a bit of an experiment in the shed, I guess, and I'm happy. It's cool. Looks good. Looks better than it did, I think. Now, before we go, now this sticker came all the way from Germany. Mo Jobs. If you haven't already, go and check him out on Facebook and Instagram. If you like the video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Good old ding dong. What a name for a hacksaw. Now that cut is for your height adjuster of your real height, to adjust your front roller. Notice the difference between these two, the depth in the cut. Like that one is just minute, ever so subtle, where these ones are quite deep. Barely there, and really deep. I don't know if someone's cut them deeper in the past, or if it's just done different in the factory. I'm not sure. I just thought it was a little bit interesting.